The person changing your decisions today probably won't raise their voice. They'll lower your resistance. A free sample, a countdown timer, a friend saying, everybody's doing it. None of it feels dangerous, which is exactly why it works. Because the most effective manipulation almost never feels like force. It feels like you choosing. And the people who survive high-stakes rooms learn that early. Not because they're immune to influence, but because they study it like weather. Most people imagine manipulation as something obvious. A scam call, a liar, a villain with bad intentions. But daily influence is quieter than that. It lives in timing, tone, status, and the tiny pressure of not wanting to seem difficult. And once you see that, ordinary days start looking like negotiation rooms. At the grocery store, in meetings, inside group chats, people are constantly shaping what feels reasonable. A manager says, "Quick favor," right before you leave. A pricing page calls one option most popular, and suddenly hesitation starts to feel irrational. A group chat says the trip is basically booked, even though nobody really asked what you wanted. Your brain calls these shortcuts. Someone else can call them steering. If they give first, reciprocity starts whispering. If everyone agrees, social proof makes doubt feel lonely. If an expert-looking person says it confidently, authority borrows your trust. If time is running out, scarcity makes caution feel expensive. None of these buttons were designed to make you stupid. They exist because thinking carefully about everything would exhaust you by noon. But under stress, those shortcuts get louder. And this is where billionaire-style thinking starts to split from normal thinking. Because powerful decision-makers are not the calmest people in the room by accident. Imagine a founder walking into a meeting where everyone wants an immediate yes. The room is polished, the numbers are framed, the smiles are warm, and the deadline is fake. Most people feel pressure and mistake it for clarity. They think urgency means truth. But high performers learn a colder question. Why must this be decided now? That one sentence breaks half of modern manipulation. Because pressure changes the brain before it changes the deal. Under stress, decision-making often shifts from deliberate thinking to habit. You stop asking what matters and start reaching for what feels familiar. That's why people overspend when anxious, reply too fast when afraid, and say yes just to end discomfort. The manipulator doesn't need to control your mind. They only need to control your emotional temperature. But here's the part that looks ruthless from the outside. Some of the best business minds do not react to pressure with passion. They react with distance. Not because they feel nothing, but because emotion is data, not a steering wheel. They let the feeling arrive, then refuse to let it sign the contract. That pause is worth millions in the right room, and almost nothing in normal life trains you to protect it. Because daily manipulation is really a war between your present self and your future self. A sale ends tonight. The message needs an answer now. The opportunity may disappear. Maybe. But often, what disappears first is your ability to think. Psychologists call part of this delay discounting. The future reward becomes strangely weak the moment an immediate reward walks into the room. So a calm weekend gets traded for one more meeting, long-term trust for short-term approval, real strategy for instant relief. This is why some wealthy people seem almost emotionally unfair with time. They protect tomorrow like it's already expensive. They know attention compounds and panic charges interest. And success creates one more trap almost nobody talks about. The more status you gain, the less honest feedback you naturally receive. People laugh faster, agree sooner, and package requests as admiration. Influence becomes softer exactly when the stakes become larger. A billionaire is not only managing money, they're managing distortion. Every compliment, every introduction, every tiny ask might be carrying a hidden invoice. So the smartest among them build friction on purpose. They ask for things in writing. They wait a day before big decisions. They watch who becomes impatient when boundaries appear. Because impatience is information. But the deepest manipulation is not what others do to you. It's what they train you to do to yourself. To confuse being needed with being valued. To confuse being busy with being important. To confuse fast decisions with strong decisions. After enough repetition, nobody has to pressure you anymore. You start performing urgency for free. You start calling exhaustion ambition. You start defending choices that were never really yours. That is the final twist in the psychology of influence. The most dangerous manipulation is the one that moves in and borrows your voice, and the escape is not paranoia. It is awareness with a little space around it. A breath before replying, a question before agreeing. A pause long enough to notice whose goal just entered your body. Maybe that is why the most formidable people often look less impressed, less rushed, less available. They are not detached from life. They are detached from bait. So before your next yes, ask yourself something uncomfortable. Is this decision serving your future or just relieving your present? If this kind of psychological investigation helps you see the invisible patterns, stay close. Because in the next video, we're going deeper into billionaire psychology. Why wealthy people treat time, status, and trust like completely different currencies.